Oh, hey friends. This paint set here, it has my art on it. Hey friends, what's up? Welcome back. My name is Shayda Campbell, and around here we make art and it's fun, not scary. And in today's beginner-friendly watercolor tutorial, we will be using my very own Shayda Campbell watercolor set. This has been a lot of years in the making, and I'm so excited to unbox it and share it with you and show you how awesome the paints are. And we're gonna do a little watercolor floral because that's what we do best. And yeah, it's just wonderful, and I really wanna get into it. One thing I will say is I launched this set last week on Instagram and YouTube Shorts, and we sold out on Amazon.com. But there are more sets coming, like today, tomorrow, very shortly. So if you want a set, I highly recommend using the link. Go purchase it, and Amazon will not charge you until it actually ships, which is happening, like they've told me, early next week at the latest. So please use that link. You can also purchase the set on blick.com in the US, so we're gonna put that link as well. And then Canada, international, this set is coming soon. I've created it in partnership with one of the biggest art companies in the world, so art stores worldwide will see this in their wholesale catalog. So if you like shopping locally like I do, you can go into your art store and ask, if they would maybe carry it. But we're expecting it to be on international Amazon very shortly. I know if you've seen the short that I put out last week, you guys have already given me so much love and support on this, and I just thank you so much. I'm so excited to have this out in the world, and especially in time for the holidays, and yeah, it's just really, really exciting. So let me show you. So let me show you this set, and then we are going to do what we do best, and that is paint some flowers together. This is what it looks like. It has my floral art on it and my signature. And if we flip it over to the back, you can see the colors that I've chosen. That's the most important thing about this, is that you get a set of 24 pans that have my favorite colors to paint with. So I've chosen a lot of really natural greens, an olive green, a sap green. You've got some beautiful deep dark magentas and reds to work with, a Naples yellow, a raw sienna, which is like a yellow ochre, Payne's gray, white. I always use white. There's a wonderful Coeruleum blue, which is like my cobalt blue in this set, Vandyke brown, all the classics, all the Shayda classics. So let's unbox it, take it out of the packaging, and this is what it looks like when you open it up. It's a great size. It's a little travel set. If you're wondering, these are student quality paints. For the last 9.5 years, this channel has been all about making art accessible and getting people started. So the price point is perfect for, introduction to watercolor. I am working on 300-pound 5x7 watercolor cards today. Okay, I'm going to move the flowers back a bit so I can really see them. And then we are going to just do a very messy little sketch. I'm working with an old antique picture here. So I'm just sketching the shape of it. I am not going for perfection. I think when you're trying to do a creative sketch like this, the sort of more free and silly you can be with it, the better it's going to turn out. So I'm basically scribbling the flowers on the vase. I am just scribbling the stems of the snapdragons, and then I do some little oval shapes to indicate all those great big fluffy snapdragon petals and blossoms. You can see how crooked and crazy some of those stems are. And I'm just going for a very loose base shape, and then I'll do some line shading, not much, and some very scribbly flowers on the vase. I love these antique vases because they always have florals painted on them, and then I get to paint kind of a double floral. We'll put some lines at the very bottom to indicate the shadow, and then we're gonna get ready to paint. So grab your watercolors, 2 glasses of clean water, paper towel for blotting your brush, and remember to erase all of those pencil lines. You want to start this painting with just that fine liner artist pen sketch. Remember, good fine liners like the mulatto black liners are waterproof, so you don't have to worry about adding watercolor on top. I'm going to start by painting the flowers first. So I am mixing my cobalt, which is actually cerulean blue, with rose madder hue, which is a really cool red, or even a magenta, you could say. And then I'm going to do the same mix over here, but add a little bit of white so that I have different colors to pull from. And then actually my favorite color in this whole set is called Purple Lake. It is this beautiful, dark, luscious, cool magenta, and I don't even have to add anything to it. That's it there. The Purple Lake is such a lovely color, and it works for so many flowers. And you can see I just add water to make the stems a little bit more transparent, or the blossoms a little more transparent towards the top. And then I've got all these great sort of burgundy magenta-ish colors on the palette that I can pull from. The first one where I did the blue and the magenta is sort of this cool burgundy, and then I've got that Purple Lake, which is this lovely pink color, and then I just add a little extra water sometimes so that the paint appears lighter and more transparent. I can add a little bit of white as well, and we are just making marks. I am using the filbert brush at this point and just sort of hitting it against the paper. And the result is these really abstracted but also very natural looking floral shapes. I can see a snapdragon forming, I can. And in fact, I'm going to start mixing up some green here, and I want a really natural green. So I am using olive green and leaf green. Those are two of my favorites. And I'm going to mix in a little bit of Vandyke brown, just a hint. You could also mix in a little of that red or magenta. That just sort of deadens the green, because of course red or magenta is opposite green on the color wheel. But I like the look of a little brown mixed in as well. It sort of does the same thing. Gives you that nice natural green that's not too bright. And then now I'm using the round brush, and I am just doing some little oval shapes to really make these pink marks look like they are indeed snapdragon branches. And we're also putting some little lines hinting at stems between the florals. Once we're done with that first layer of green, we're going to take a dark magenta or dark burgundy and just do some marks, just more mark making. Don't even think about florals, and kind of fill in that middle area and maybe put a few hits of the brush on top, layered on top of some of the other pink. With that floral area filled in, I want to start thinking about the vase. And of course, we need to paint sort of the shadow of this white vase first. So for gray, I love to start with white and then a little bit of brown and a little bit of blue, and maybe just a hint of that magenta. Make sure there's lots of water in there and lots of white, and it gives you this really natural warm gray, much warmer than the Payne's gray. And I just added a few brush strokes on the left and the right, and then I'm using water to kind of blend out towards the middle where the highlight will be. And I used my paper towel to do a little bit of lifting. Whenever you're doing shadow, also water, clouds, all kinds of things, it's nice to do a bit of lifting. It gives you really natural looking shadows. Actually, I should say it gives you a natural looking highlight where you lift. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. We're going to mix a darker gray, so more brown, more blue, and we're just going to do some horizontal brush strokes to create that shadow at the base of the vase, and then we are going to let that dry. So set your brush down, give it a second to dry, grab that cup of tea, and then once it has dried, we can use a brown such as Vandyke brown. And this is a very watery mix. You can see it's quite light, quite transparent. And we are just going to do a few hits of the brush, make some very messy circles for those scribbly flowers on the vase. And then we'll come back with a slightly darker mix of the same brown. So just a little less water, more pigment in your mix. And we will do more hits of that brush and a few thin lines to create the leaves that sort of border the flowers. And you can do some smaller leaves in there as well. That'll give a nice look of detail. Then continuing our wet on dry, so that first layer of paint has dried completely, and now we can build up more paint, build up more contrast, and be very precise. We are going to take a really dark, rich mix of that burgundy or that purple lake, so just more pigment, less water, and we are going to do some more hits of the brush, so just brush marks. Just think about mark making. Don't worry about making floral shapes or flowers or blossoms or buds, just messy marks. And we're going to build up a nice contrast on all the purple, sort of magenta, burgundy areas. And then we're going to do the exact same thing with green. So take that olive green with a little bit of brown mixed in and a little less water, more pigment, and same thing, making marks, little oval or rounded brush marks will help to create contrast on all of the buds at the end of these flowers. And you can, again, same thing with the gray. Take a little bit of gray, and I definitely want more dark shadow at the top of the vase where the flowers are flowing over and out, so they're creating shadow, and at the base as well, because the vase is rounded, of course, so the bottom is going to be a little more shadowy than that big round bulbous area in the center. This is looking so good, guys, and it's all just messy marks and scribbles. Now that those flowers are dry and they were so light, I'm taking that darker brown and just doing a few dots really at the center. And then I'm kind of looking for anywhere on the flowers that maybe needs a little bit of darkening, a little more contrast, like especially that area right in the middle. I did put a hint of magenta in the shadows. No reason. And then I signed it with my fine liner, and that was that. Oh, this was so much fun to do. I really enjoyed introducing you to this watercolor set, and I can't wait for you to get your hands on it. This has been a long time coming. It's been a dream of mine for the last 5-6 years to produce a set that has the colors I want, the quality that I want you to have. And yeah, I'm just so excited. So you can